Hello. I am a cardboard robot.
And I'm a robot, too. I'm made of iron. And an iron.
We're probably going a little beyond the intention of the extra-normal movie maker by doing this video, but we figure as robots and byproducts of the future, we're as qualified as anyone to talk about nuclear power and to respond to Dan's thoughts.
Yes.
First and foremost, I'd like to talk about wind power.
Yes. Wind power is not as viable a fuel source as people think. The average wind farm pays for itself in 20 to 30 years. Guess what the average lifespan is?
20 to 30 years.
Exactly. You win a cookie.
Solar power is a lot more reasonable, though. It just requires a lot of cleaning and maintenance, and if we put more effort into developing solar technology, it will become even more useful.
The problem is that wind power gets more money.
Yes, of course. Then there's geothermal, which, next to hydroelectric, is the most efficient source of power.
Of course, there are only so many places where geothermal can be. So let's move on to nuclear power.
Nuclear power is pretty clean and pretty safe, as Dan said, but also, as Dan said, when it's unsafe, it's really unsafe.
However, it is a very good source of energy when it's handled properly. France is powered almost exclusively by nuclear power, if I recall correctly, and their plants are all standardized, unlike America's plants.
That's the way to do nuclear power. As long as it's regulated and maintained, things are fine. There has also been heavy research into better waste management, including classification of the waste, which makes transportation much easier.
So I guess what we're trying to say is that the best options at this point are nuclear and solar, despite the dangers of nuclear power.
It doesn't end there, however. There's research into what are called breeder reactors, which run on the more common isotope of uranium and can actually create enough plutonium to start another reactor.
If I recall correctly, though, it's on a very small scale right now. Either way, it's a neat idea.
In closing, we think that nuclear power is okay as long as we do it right, like the French.
But what do I know? After all, I'm a robot.